Chances are, most of you watching this video reside in or around a city. Whether it's a cozy little town or a sprawling metropolis doesn't really make much of a difference. Every urban area is packed with people and cars, making the air feel heavy and just getting around a major hassle. Just about every city has those dreaded roads you'll go out of your way to avoid, especially when you're in a rush and can't afford to get stuck in traffic. Hey everyone, glad you're here! In today's video, we're taking you on a tour of 6 places that aren't just the most overcrowded on Earth, but also some of the most miserable spots to live. Welcome to our channel, folks! Let's jump right in and get started. Jalousie District, Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Jalousie is an overcrowded neighborhood nestled in the capital of Haiti, known for its vibrant patchwork of houses stacked along the hillside. But behind those cheerful, colorful walls lies one of the largest slums in all of Port-au-Prince. The people who live here endure filthy conditions, no running water, constant blackouts, and a river so choked with plastic waste it barely flows. Even by conservative estimates, more than 80,000 people call this area home, many of them forced to relocate here after losing everything in the 2010 earthquake. While Jalousie itself was spared from the destruction, the massive influx of people brought with it a storm of predictable problems tied to extreme overcrowding. And yet, despite the hardships, the crushing poverty, and the grim atmosphere, the people of Jalousie hold on to hope and continue to live together with a strong sense of unity. In 2013, the government spent nearly $1.4 million just to paint the facades of the houses, but the effort did nothing to solve the community's deeper crisis. That's how the area ended up with a haunting nickname, the Colorful Suffering. To many, the entire project felt like a cruel joke played by the government. After all, that money could have gone toward clean water or reliable electricity, but instead, it was used to brighten the view for the wealthy neighborhoods nearby so they wouldn't have to look at the misery unfolding just down the hill. Mathare, Nairobi, Kenya. Mathare is a densely packed slum in Nairobi, the capital of Kenya, where nearly 500,000 people are crammed into harsh living conditions. The most extreme and overcrowded part of the area is the Mathare Valley, where around 180,000 people are struggling to survive. Every single resident lives in a shack no bigger than 54 square feet, packed so tightly together that the walls of one home press directly against the next. Most of these structures are thrown together from scrap metal, sand, and dirt, and for most people here, even the idea of owning a real bed is a luxury they've never dared to imagine. Instead, they sleep directly on the ground, laying scraps of cardboard over the dirt floor of their shacks. Running water, electricity, and basic sewage systems are luxuries completely out of reach for those living in the Mathare Valley. There are a few public toilets, but hardly anyone uses them. That's because most people can't even afford the small fee required to access them. The vast majority are forced to relieve themselves in open drainage ditches between the shacks, or use what's grimly known as flying toilets. These are plastic bags used as makeshift toilets, then tossed into nearby rivers, causing severe environmental damage. People here do their best to earn a living, but most residents make less than $1 a day, making it nearly impossible to get by. The biggest issues plaguing the area are rampant crime and deadly diseases. Many parents simply can't afford to raise their children, and countless kids end up orphaned while still very young or in their early teens. Orphanages and charitable organizations are doing what they can to help, but the need is massive and resources are painfully limited. There are a few schools scattered around the valley, but most children don't get to attend them. That's because by the age of 8 or 10, many of them have already become the heads of their households, responsible for raising their younger siblings. And when it comes to crime, the situation is just as devastating. Mathare Valley is overwhelmed with turf wars between gangs and constant outbreaks of violence. Santa Cruz, the man-made island. Santa Cruz is a tiny coral island floating just off the coast of Colombia. It covers only 0.004 square miles, and with an estimated population of somewhere between 800 and 1,200 people, it ranks as one of the most densely populated islands on the planet. The island is so small that walking around it is actually easier than circling it by boat. To give you an idea of just how compact it is, the entire island is smaller than 2 standard soccer fields put together. This artificial island in the Caribbean Sea is divided into 10 sections, and squeezed into those are over 100 homes. The rooftops are made from corrugated metal, and the buildings themselves are pieced together using anything available: seashells, sand, bits of coconut husk, you name it. There are only 4 roads on the island, and not a single one is wide enough for cars. And that's because, quite simply, there are no cars here at all. There's no police presence on the island either, but the community is so tight-knit that it's never been a problem. The level of trust among the residents is truly remarkable. No one locks their doors because they firmly believe there's no crime on Santa Cruz and there never will be. The island doesn't have toilets or a sewage system, and there's no space for a cemetery, so when someone passes away, their body is taken to the neighboring island for burial. Drinking water is delivered just once a month from the mainland, and while they do have electricity thanks to a generator, it runs for less than 4 hours a day. Still, even with these limitations, the island is a popular spot for fishing, and when it comes to cultural activities, locals enjoy spending time at the community disco or grabbing a bite at the one and only restaurant. West Point, Monrovia, Liberia. West Point is a township in Liberia that sits right inside the capital city. It's located on a narrow peninsula covering just 0.2 square miles, and it's considered one of the most densely populated slums in all of Monrovia. According to official data from 2014, the population was 34,605, but experts now believe that number has likely doubled. Back in the mid-20th century, the area was taken over by fishermen who were making a major contribution to the country's economy. In the 1970s, the government tried to forcibly relocate them to other regions of the country, but the plan failed completely, and despite the terrible living conditions, the residents came right back. Just like many other places on this list, West Point lacks even the most basic sanitary infrastructure. In fact, the conditions here are so poor that the United Nations has repeatedly listed it as a place where proper humane living is simply impossible. To help you understand just how bad things really are, here's one example. There are only 4 public toilets in all of West Point, and the fees to use them are so high that most people can't afford it. This crisis is far more serious than it might seem at first glance. That's because the local beach, which people now use as a toilet, is also where fish are brought in and where water is collected for daily use. Crime in West Point is out of control, to the point where even young children are getting involved in criminal activity. For all these reasons, West Point is just about the last place you'd ever want to visit on vacation. Hillbrow, Johannesburg, South Africa. Johannesburg is the most populated city in South Africa and a major destination for tourists from all over the world. But while many come to explore the city, very few have any interest in heading north of downtown to the Hillbrow district. Hillbrow is not only infamous for its extreme population density, but also for the crushing poverty that defines everyday life here. Back in the 1970s, the area was designated as a white residential zone, but as immigration increased, Hillbrow turned into a mixed ethnicity gray zone. Today, around 100,000 people live here, and the number keeps rising as immigrants continue to arrive from less developed African nations. Most of the newcomers can't afford better housing in safer parts of the city, so they end up settling here out of necessity. Hoping to find work and climb out of poverty, many people come to Johannesburg and make Hillbrow their starting point. As the area's population exploded, so did its reputation for crime, earning Hillbrow a spot on the list of South Africa's most dangerous neighborhoods. Visitors are warned not to pull out their phones or wallets in public, not even for a second. Armed thieves are known to strike without hesitation, and just flashing your device could make you a target. Because the city failed to plan for the district's rapid growth, Hillbrow's infrastructure simply couldn't keep up with the surge. In an effort to address the crisis, the authorities converted abandoned high-rises into apartment buildings. But over time, those towers turned into vertical slums, and now most residents are forced to live in deep poverty. Schools and medical services fall far short of meeting the needs of the population, but despite all that, ongoing redevelopment projects give Hillbrow a chance to become one of Johannesburg's most vibrant and prosperous districts in the future. Imbaba, Egypt. Imbaba is a working-class district located in the northern part of Giza. on the west bank of the Nile River, right on the edge of Greater Cairo. Today, Imbaba ranks as one of the most densely populated urban areas in the entire world, with just under 1.5 million residents packed into only 3.2 square miles. For centuries, this area served as the final stop along ancient camel routes from Sudan and the Horn of Africa. The camels were sold in local markets, and those markets played a key role in shaping the urban development of Imbaba. Imbaba is a place unlike any other, where some families have lived for generations, while others have moved in seeking work and a better life. This blend has created a socially complex community made up of a wide variety of religions, cultural traditions, and personal values. Most residents earn a living running street stalls, making the marketplace a central pillar of the local economy. Naturally, you'll find all the usual problems here: traffic jams, overcrowded housing, poor sanitation. But the people of Imbaba don't let any of that get them down. While many of the public services in the district fall short, the Egyptian government continues to work hard to prevent residents from falling into crisis. Thanks to ongoing efforts to modernize and expand the area's infrastructure, Imbaba holds enormous potential for the future. If you enjoyed today's video, we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a like and shared it on your social media. That's it for now. Until next time, take care and goodbye.